Yes, welcome everyone. It's Cannabis News. I'm your host, Joe Claire. January 24th, 2019, presented as always by the Marijuana Times. Check us out at marijuanatimes.org. Click that video tab to find this show. Of course, a bunch of great articles there as well from a lot of great writers, social media links, all that good stuff. Today, talking about how long legalization should take. In other words, you get something on the ballot and you get it passed, and now it's passed. How long should it be before actual legalization happens and you can see it and there's businesses opening? Talk about that. Also, a website offering free medical marijuana for furloughed government workers. And we will check out that Super Bowl ad that was rejected by CBS, the one featuring medical cannabis. All of that coming up. But first, of course, Cannabis News brought to you by NatureSide, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides for growing in a state where cannabis growing is legal. There's probably banned pesticides. There's regulations you have to follow. You need something organic, something natural. NatureSide is what you need. Grow safe and poison-free. Don't use harmful chemicals on whatever you're growing, no matter what state you're growing in. You accomplish all of this with NatureSide, nature-side.com. Side is spelled C-I-D-E, a proud sponsor of Cannabis News. This first story by yours truly at marijuanatimes.org. How long should legalization take? As I said, in this I mean, once a bill is passed, it's been enacted, it's law, how long before sales kick in and there's licensed businesses and licensed growers and things of that nature? In a lot of states, that answer is 2+ years. I mean, look at a state like medical marijuana in Ohio. There has been a huge delay when it comes to that. That bill was passed in 2016 by the legislature. Just now having dispensaries open up in Ohio. There was huge delays in places like Massachusetts when it comes to recreational cannabis. I could go on and on listing states where this has happened. There's a lot. And 2+ years seems to be the norm for most states. In some states, it's a year before they can even start accepting applications for licenses. A year to make the paper. Just to figure out what's going to be on the paper that the licensee, the licensee wannabes, if you will fill out. That takes a year in some states. But as I mentioned in the article, and I wrote another article about it today that will be published on Saturday on the Marijuana Times. I talked to the founders of Oklahomans for Health. What's going on in Oklahoma? June 26th of 2018, they passed a medical marijuana measure, and it's January, and they got dispensaries everywhere. And they have for a couple months. It's been a functioning, full-fledged industry for months now. But most states, they can't even manage anything close to that. Nothing even close. That's basically what that article is about, is this notion that legalization has to be some really big, long, drawn-out thing, and it's so difficult, and there has to be dozens and dozens of pages of rules and regulations for every contingency, every possibility, it doesn't need to be that complicated. I've said that a lot on this show. I know. Some of you out there say, oh, who are you? I know. I get it. But am I wrong? I'm nobody. But am I wrong? You can't. And this is what these people do. They're regulators. They regulate things. That's their job. They say, oh, well, it's going to be years. It's going to be years. I'm sorry. It's my job. I'm very slow at it. I'm a regulator. I apologize in advance for the incredible slowness with which I do my job. It's really uncalled for. I agree with you, but I'm a government employee, and besides shutting down the government, there's really not much you can do to me. You know what I'm saying? You get your regulations when you get them. I don't know. Seems like it'd be quicker, but again, it is what it is. Just point out, Oklahoma magically managed it. Magic. A magic set of circumstances that could not exist anywhere else apparently happened in Oklahoma. It's crazy. It's craziness. This next story, speaking of the federal shutdown, this is from thehill.com. Pot website offers free medical marijuana to government workers amid shutdown. There you see, if you're watching the video version of the show, that very much used Getty image of the guy mesmerized by the little jars of weed. I mean, I understand why it's used a lot, but I see that a lot. As someone who follows cannabis news on a daily basis, I see that picture a lot of that guy. With now I notice he has glasses similar to mine. But no, it's not me, as you can clearly see. I wish it was. The guy's famous. He's a stock image famous. Anyway, as I said, this from the Hill. Another business is joining those aiming to ease the pain of the partial government shutdown for federal workers. A marijuana marketplace says it's giving away free weed. BudTrader.com, which describes itself as the, quote, largest online cannabis marketplace, end quote, and has been dubbed the Craigslist of weed. Craigslist of weed. Is Craigslist still around? I don't know. I guess it is. They wouldn't be using that comparison, would they? They don't call themselves the Blockbuster of weed. Because it's not. They're no longer. Blockbuster's no longer around. Never mind. They will offer free medical marijuana to government workers who can't pay because of the shutdown. The shutdown affects an estimated 800,000 federal workers and has stretched on for more than a month. Stems from disagreements, of course, between President Trump and Congress over the wall. Bud Trader CEO Brad McLaughlin said in a news release, quote, I don't think federal employees are getting enough love and support. In these tough times, we want to extend the offer of a donation of medical cannabis to any federal worker affected by the shutdown. Of course, companies working with their lawyer to make sure cannabis donations given to federal employees are confidential and compliant with California cannabis adult use laws and regulations. So I guess, even though they don't explicitly say it in this article, it's California only. So for those of you in other places, I'm sorry. Don't write me angry letters or put angry comments down below. It's not me. It's them. It's what they're doing. A couple days ago, we talked about the Super Bowl ad, the medical marijuana ad from Acreage Holdings that was rejected by CBS for placement during the Super Bowl. Of course, you may have seen it already. If you haven't, we're about to play it. It's been all over the internet today. Here's the actual ad, the medical marijuana ad from Acreage Holdings that was rejected by CBS for the Super Bowl.
Austin would have dozens to hundreds of seizures every single day. None of the prescriptions would work. One pill almost killed our son.
I've had 3 back surgeries, and I was on opioids for 15 years. It was a very dark, very depressive time in my life.
After my injury, I felt like I couldn't live with the pain, but I couldn't live with this treatment long term. It was unbearable.
I don't have to live like that anymore. Medical cannabis saved Austin's life.
Cannabis has given me my life back.
There are families in other states having to watch their children die.
I want to see my brothers and sisters who sacrificed so much for this country have access to the safest treatment possible. This really is an injustice.
It's not just unfair, it's cruel.
Wow. So even a wounded vet and a child wasn't enough to move CBS. As I said a couple days ago, I'm sure that they would fall back on federal law when it comes to this, although why they should be worried about federal law with commercials during the Super Bowl, I don't know. But I'm not, I don't know the legal ramifications of all that. What I do know is there will be much alcohol ads during this Super Bowl, which tells you, of course, it's not about any kind of safety or anything along those lines. It's simply about they don't want to promote medical marijuana. I mean, they could. What would the federal government do if CBS? What would they do to CBS if they ran a medical marijuana ad? The SWAT team's going to kick down the door in the CBS offices and arrest the tape operators? I don't understand what the problem is. How is the federal government going to punish CBS if they run an ad for medical marijuana with a wounded United States veteran and a child? I don't know. It's very odd. It's very odd. But, you see it online, share it, have a lot of people see it. And Acreage Holdings, I guess, could keep their $5 million they were going to give for the Super Bowl ad. They're going to pay $5 million to get that in front of people on the Super Bowl. And CBS said no. So share it far and wide, if you will. That is cannabis news. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the show. Thank you for checking out marijuanatimes.org. Of course, you can search the Marijuana Times on Apple Podcasts to find the audio-only version of the show. And, of course, subscribe on YouTube. Click the notification bell so you know when a new episode has dropped. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out today, for watching and listening and sharing and all that good stuff. We'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.